Good morning. I got tripped up there for a second there.
We go over this every time. You always mess it up.
No,
planned.
that
We said
wasn't
that
me.
she's going first.
No,
Okay.
the video went boop, boop. So anyway, good morning. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to the Morning Sprint. I'm Brittany Weir.
Yes, and I'm Daphne Gray. And before we kick off the show, I do want to address something really quick. Yesterday, we had a really fun show, and it was regarding an elderly lady who buried herself. It was a fun story. You remember that story?
Yes.
And I just also want to let people know that, again, redefining or trying to remind you guys of what the Morning Sprint is about. It's about the fun stories of the day. Yes, what may be news to somebody is not going to be news to somebody else. And what we do, we try to pull all the highlighted nice stories from all around the world, get that conversation going. We had several comments online yesterday. I don't know if you guys saw them, but if you go to that story, a lot of people very active. Some people understood the process of the Morning Sprint, but some people were a little harsh, saying stuff wasn't news. Either way, if you're going to look for the death and destruction, which is what the show is about, taking a break from that, this is the wrong platform.
Yeah.
Okay, but when you come here, you're going to listen to a lot of cool stories. So I just wanted to put that out there,
and
get everybody a big reminder.
The stories that get you talking, which is exactly what that story did
Exactly.
yesterday. So many people had comments, and that's what we want to see. We want to hear your opinions on that. So we're going to continue to share those kinds of stories because it gets you talking.
Exactly. Speaking of a huge talker, this one right here, take a look at this crazy video. I'm going to pause it right now. If you look right there, that's a dust devil. And get this, it sucked up a 7-year-old during a baseball game. Now, the quick actions of another player saved him. We'll give you all those details coming up later in the sprint. And again, it's going to get you talking because you're like, oh my gosh, that's bizarre. And I know it's just a scary situation for every parent that was watching that. So that's coming up later in the sprint. So, earlier, I say several weeks ago, you were on breaking news regarding this fire out in Giles County.
Yeah, the big fire that happened at the Friends and Family restaurant. A lot of people paying attention to those updates and what's been going on. We have another update for you this morning, and it's a good news one. Well, after that devastating the fire at the Friends and Family restaurant, they're now working on getting blueprints and a new concept developed. As we reported, the Pearisburg staple went up in flames back in February. Pearisburg, I pronounced that wrong. The owners say while they anticipate some delays with the rebuild, they hope to open sometime next spring. So that is definitely something to look forward to. The video you're seeing right now is from that morning when they had that devastating fire.
Yeah.
But we're happy to hear that there is some good news and they're working to rebuild. Again, it's just going to be a long process. These things take time, but next spring, I'm sure when they reopen, I bet the line will be out the door to support them and that family.
Yeah, good coverage right there as well, because we also talked to several community members, and apparently, we're obviously not being from here, we get to know people and how close things are to their hearts. So it's good that they're rebuilding and not just shutting down. We got something else coming up for you guys. Get this, over 50 organizations are working together to provide food to people in need. Community Foundation of the NRV just released this year's Food Assistance Directory. It lists the address of the organization, contact information, when they offer the food, and what type of food they offer. So keep that in mind. They also specify things like who is eligible and if you need proof of income. So you can find more details on that story. We all know food assistance is very helpful in different communities, especially with inflation and the way our economy is set up right now. So pay attention to that. It's going to be on our website at WSLS.com.
All right, and then getting on to this time of year, it's big. Like we said, graduations. We had the big Virginia Tech, Liberty graduation all last weekend, but now we want to get to another graduation story for you. So one out of Iowa, actually, a man, his ceremony was especially meaningful. Take a look at this because Fred Taylor, he's 101 years old, and he was finally able to take part in his graduation ceremony.
Yeah, so get this. He says that he wasn't able to attend his ceremony for the first time, because he left school to serve in the Army during World War II.
Well, it really ties the ribbon on it. It makes me feel like now it's complete.
And Taylor says the ceremony was a full circle moment. And this is an amazing story, I think. One, he is 101 years old.
Yes.
I would have never guessed that. I mean, look at him. He does
Exactly.
not look 101. And then also to just be able to participate in this, I mean, giving back to your country and then being able to go back and do this. I absolutely love this story. Congratulations, Fred. I mean, such a special, special day.
It is a special day, and we want to know what you guys think about this story as well, because we have a lot of veterans out there, and we're blessed to still have people who have fought in World War II still with us today. And I bet seeing something like this as an accomplishment is not only inspiring to them, but he didn't let any kind of wartime stop his mission from graduating, and here he is. He's doing it. Rebecca, I know your boo thing as a veteran. When you see stories like this, how does that make you feel?
Yeah, it gives me so much excitement that, Philip's biggest thing when joining the military was, why are you laughing at me?
I'm sorry, no.
The picture
We're looking at,
behind
I
you.
forgot my desktop is back there.
I'm sorry.
I was just like, yeah.
It's the picture behind you.
It's Bridge Appception.
Anyway,
So back to
sorry
Philip.
to
Okay.
interrupt you.
So a lot of the people in World War I and World War II, yes, there was the draft, but there was also this feeling of honor and wanting to serve out of loyalty to their country. And I think that there's nothing greater than celebrating that in those veterans.
Yeah.
And so for him to wait 80 years to walk across the stage it's just so inspiring that it's never too late.
Amen.
To finish something. It's never too late to get that recognition. So this is your daily reminder to go out and thank a veteran today.
And right now, you said that Philip he's in the process of going to school right now, isn't he?
Yeah. So
After he served for how long?
Yeah, so Philip was in the Marine Corps for 5 years. He was on 2 deployments, on a ship for more than a year, thanks to COVID. But yeah, so he's out and he's using the GI Bill, one of those benefits to go back to school for free. So yeah, he's really excited. He's going to major in geography and hopefully one day he'll walk across that stage.
Yes, I love it. Good
And
news
if you
right
have
there.
any graduation shout outs you wanna do, put it in the
Yes.
comment section below. Their name, what school they're graduating from, if it's high school, college, that kind of thing. We'd love to give them a shout out here in a second with Jasmine. But we want to get to a new trend. I don't know if you guys have heard of this because I have not heard of this until this morning.
Exactly. I'm with you.
It's a new one. So it's called No Mow May. So this it's giving you an excuse to not mow your lawn while also saving money and helping the environment. I know my dad would love this one.
But I bet your mom wouldn't.
No.
Because that yard would be cute. Okay, so get this. Month-long movement is an effort to increase diversity of wildlife, such as the bees and other pollinators. Each time we cut the lawn, we use energy, spend money, and take away the chance for bees to pollinate, and that's a crucial puzzle piece to keeping a healthy environment. If you're going to participate, you should check out your local rules and your HOA if you have one.
Another way that you can go green is try composting lawn cuttings instead of throwing them away or dumping them in a pile. So I
Yeah.
get it's for a good cause, and I get it's this new trend that makes sense. But I don't know.
My thing is that, hey, them pollinators and stuff been fine this entire time. I'm like, hey, we got to cut that grass. And more than anything, that's one thing that I just do not like. And I think when I get married, my husband is going to really pick up on that. I don't like yards that are just getting out of control. I don't care what kind of trend you're doing.
Yeah.
There is stuff, if that grass gets high enough, there's stuff in the grass.
That's true, the
It's
ticks
bigger
and
than,
all that
yeah,
stuff,
exactly. It's
yeah.
bigger than the ticks. You got the snakes coming out.
Especially with both that go out there. I
So,
get that.
no, I get it. I get what you're doing. If you got like a little patch of your yard that you want to do,
There's an
cool.
alternative. You know what? Set aside a 4x6 square.
That's
and
still too big.
Plant wildflower seeds on it and just
There you
let
go.
wildflowers grow
Yeah.
so that all the pollinators can just go to those little areas, but the rest of it can be nice and clean and crisp and
Yeah.
fresh cut. And
Yeah, and that's why it says like it's going to save money and time and all that stuff. No, it's going to put you that next month when you realize you got to get back to that yard. It's going to be a headache and a half. I remember living in San Antonio, there's these things, I call them cuckabugs. I still don't know exactly their technical name.
Okay.
But they're real sharp, like they're prickly. And if the grass gets high
Oh,
enough,
yeah.
you barely walk out there. They're in
They're
your socks.
everywhere, yeah.
They're in the dog's foot, and it's just the worst. So yeah, if you participate in that trend, if you think it's a good idea, let us know. If you are on my boat and think that it's not, let me know as well.
Yeah, put that in that comment section below. But speaking of that grass and outside, we got meteorologist Chris and Michaels here for you for your daily forecast. It was beautiful this morning when we were out. We'll see if that continues.
Hey there, guys. Happy hump day. Thankfully, humidity levels are starting to drop throughout the day today. That's going to result in some cool mornings and comfy afternoons between today and Friday. Shower chances returning Saturday. Doesn't look nearly as strong as the system we tracked yesterday. Have a great rest of your Wednesday. I'll see you this time tomorrow morning on The Sprint.
All right, Chris, thank you so much. Keep that weather app handy. I know we were dealing with a lot of severe weather yesterday, a lot of busyness taking place there, but we'll be following that throughout the rest of the day and this week. Now, let's get back to this crazy story we were teasing earlier, the one that's going to have you talking. It was a scary scene at a youth baseball game. Short-lived dust devil in Florida engulfed a young boy.
I couldn't breathe
He
that
was a young
much,
catcher, and thankfully,
so I
the actions
holded
of the
my
team
breath,
stepped in to
and
help
I
avoid
feel like
safety.
I
So
couldn't
if you,
touch the
that's
ground,
boy
so I
right there.
kind of
That's,
lifted
what
up
is
a
that?
little
Is that
bit,
the
and I was
soccer swing?
scared,
Seems like it. Yeah, that's the
and
video
I got
right
afraid
there.
if
Dust devil. I mean,
someone
look
would
at that.
pull
And
me
they
Yes.
out.
grabbed him quickly. Look at that. Oh my That is crazy. I couldn't even imagine being there in person and seeing that. And he can't see anything. So confused. But it was seemingly normal tournament of baseball field that quickly turned into something else. With seconds, the wind started picking up and a dust devil was formed quickly, engulfing 7-year-old Bauer Zoya. And even though Zoya was only in the dust devil for a few seconds, he says it felt like he was in there for 10 minutes.
I couldn't breathe that much, so I held my breath, and I feel like I couldn't touch the ground, so I kind of lifted up a little bit. And I was scared, and I got afraid if someone would pull me out.
I was worried about his safety because when I got
Get
taught,
this, the person who did end up coming to Zoya's rescue was 17-year-old Aiden, who you see right there. Sorry about the whole video, get some technical issues back there. But again, he says that although that was initially,
I said it's me. I'm the technical
Oh, no,
issue.
you're good, you're good. No, we're figuring out. So if you go back to the VO part, just keep scrolling through it, and then we're going to replay that so they can hear exactly what he says.
There we go.
But again, so the person who did end up saving him was Zoya, was rescued by 17-year-old Aiden Wiles. He's the umpire, and Wiles says that although he was initially a little afraid, he knew it was best for him to put his fear aside. Now listen to what he had to say.
I was worried about his safety because when I got taught, like, the player's safety is always the first thing.
And Zoya says the dust didn't stop him from continuing to play. His dad poured water on him to get that dirt out of his eyes, and then he went back in the game, and he even believes what he went through helped him play better. Yeah. Well, I have so many thoughts, but first let's start with the dad there. That is such a typical dad thing.
Yeah.
Throw some water on it, rub it off, you're good to go. Get back in the game and go play. But that is a scary situation.
It was.
It came out of nowhere, and you know.
Look at him, his little bitty body.
I mean, he's confused. He doesn't know what's going on, where he is, and
it looks like something out of a cartoon almost.
I know, it really doesn't look real.
And look at that. You see how fast the 16-year-old, like how fast he moved to snatch him out of that. Watch this. Look at him. He sees it happen, and then woo, she just pulls him
look
out.
at his hat. Whoop,
And the dad, he even mentioned, like, he doubled down saying how thankful he was that he was there to be able to save his baby or help his baby.
Yeah.
You know, obviously, he probably would have walked away with a couple cuts and bruises, a little dusty, but he was fine. But either way, I can only imagine how scary that is for a person with such a tiny, tiny stature.
I know.
Being kind of, you think you're in a tornado almost, you know?
I know, you can't breathe, you can't see, you don't know what's going on.
Exactly.
But glad to hear he got back in the game there, and he said he played better because of his. There you go.
I want to hear what you guys' thoughts are about that. That's something super duper crazy.
Have you guys ever seen one in person?
From like a distance, not from like that close up. Like,
not one that
close.
Actually engulfs somebody either.
Yeah.
Have you?
Yeah. So back in Missouri, in
in Missouri.
The flatlands.
Yeah.
Where, there's nothing to stop the air from rotating. Yeah, we get them a little bit in the summertime. It's harder because we have a lot of farmland, so it's a lot of grass. So there's not a lot of, dust that'll move around, but yeah.
Right. All right. Scary. Well, there you go, guys. Check this out. We got something to tell you guys about that may be irritating somebody and may not be. I want to hear your thoughts specifically. So, should chocolate milk be banned from school cafeterias? What do you think?
I think I want to hear the story first.
Okay,
before I make my decision.
So apparently the U.S. Department of Agriculture is considering that question, and there are some strong feelings about that.
Okay, so the big issue is that the added sugars in flavored milk. Some say it's contributing to rising levels of childhood obesity, while others argue taking chocolate milk off the menu will lead to children drinking less milk in general. We're told the USDA is expected to make the decision next year.
Okay. What do you think?
I have lots of thoughts.
Okay.
Okay. And if you don't agree with me, that's fine. Let me know in the comment section below. But first off, I still don't understand the obsession with drinking milk in the first place. Like, aren't you supposed to stop drinking milk after a certain age? I don't personally, for me, I do not like milk. I don't like the taste of it.
Yeah.
I think I stopped drinking it in second grade.
Okay.
So that's my opinion on milk in general.
Maybe you got some brittle bones.
Maybe that's why I'm so short. But no, to me, I just don't understand milk. It doesn't make sense to me.
No, it's not because you're so short. That's not.
But then again, chocolate milk too. Again, I don't think you should take it off the menu because one, I think the kids should be able to decide. The parents should be able to decide. Have the option. And again, once you take something away from someone, they're just going to want it even more. So that's my thoughts. You guys let me know yours. But for me, I just stay away from milk in general, so it's not a big deal.
Yeah. So for me, I was never a fan of chocolate milk. I just, especially from the school, I don't know about it. Was all and I was the type of milk drinker that it had to be ice cold if I was drinking it with my lunch. I'm not that big of a fan of it, but it was available, it was there. But I know a lot of kids love them some chocolate milk. So I know when I was watching movies growing up, they would always take the white milk and get the chocolate syrup and swirl
Yeah, that was like a big thing.
It was like a
it
good
was like a
swirl.
treat for them.
Powder?
Yeah, well, not you, but it was actually chocolate milk.
No, like
That's
the
only
Hershey's
thing, yeah.
chocolate
Yeah,
syrup
exactly.
and milk, and it was like a treat for the kid, which I
Right.
get as like a dessert kind of thing.
So,
but just again for me, and just milk and I don't get it.
My point of view is this is what we're going to focus on in our school system.
Well, that's a good point.
I'm not insinuating one thing or another, but chocolate milk.
Well,
That's what we're staking the claim right
yeah.
here.
See, I was just telling our viewers to be good in the comment section. You done lit the fire.
I just don't understand.
I'm kidding.
Sparking more discussion.
I'm kidding. I know.
But why
yeah.
is milk still the drink of choice to go with your lunch? Like, I feel like there's other
I guess it's the easy. I guess it's not necessarily the cheapest, but the way
Sorry
schools
to all
are
the
going
dairy
now.
farmers out there.
Yeah,
I
it might be
really
the cheapest.
apologize.
I don't know. What do you guys think? Why is milk still a deal? Like, why is it still a thing today? I would have I think if I was in charge of
Why is milk still a thing?
Well, I'm saying
Why
like
is
for
that
lunches,
what you
you
have?
know.
Like, I understand maybe if you like it with your breakfast, but you ever seen
Yes.
those videos of like people sitting down for a whole dinner and they're pouring a giant like, to me?
Yeah, I don't get that either. That's like those
Philip.
old school
That's
movies.
100% my fiance.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, let's get Jazzy Jazz in here. Jazz, are you a milk drinker?
No, to be honest. Well, let me think. Usually not, but a nice cold glass of milk hits different with some cookies.
Okay, so you eat it with cookies.
Yeah.
I get it. I only do it, and I don't even drink the milk after I eat the cereal. I only drink milk with cereal, and but yeah, so that's a thing. What do you think about them thinking about taking chocolate milk off the menu?
I don't know. I just I'm kind of with Brittany on this. I've never really understood the
Thank you.
obsession
Thank you,
with
Jasmine.
milk. I mean, I guess it has some nutritional benefits to it, but it's just everyone I feel like a few years ago everyone was just pushing to drink milk, and I just never really understood it. But also, on the other hand, I feel like it's this nostalgic thing that kind of comes with school. So.
Yeah.
That's true.
I would feel
nostalgia.
weird with kind of pulling it from school because when we went to school, you always knew to get milk.
Yes.
So it's just weird.
Good
when you
points.
think about it.
Good points. Okay, so tell us about the dust storm though. That was some crazy video right there, wasn't it?
That was insane. I'm really glad that the team was able to step in and help that little boy because I can only imagine how scary that was for him, and I'm glad it didn't end much worse than it was. I'm glad that he was able to help him because the fact that he couldn't breathe and no telling what would have happened.
Exactly. All right, Jazz. So obviously earlier in the top of the show, I kind of addressed, the situation we were dealing with yesterday. Again, and for people out there listening, that is in no way saying that we don't like criticism or we don't like comments or anything like that because we love that engagement. But we just want to make sure, one, people are being appropriate for our younger audiences, and two, people understand the whole purpose of the morning sprint. But if you could, do we have any viewers or comments today?
There are no comments today. We have a ton of viewers, but as always, you can head to our website. Just go under the live stream. It's the comment section right beneath it. It's super easy to leave a comment, and we would love to hear from you guys, whether it's because we welcome criticism. We're not saying that you all can't offer your constructive criticism, but we would just love to hear from you all, whether it is constructive criticism or if you just want to comment on the video. Because this is a back and forth thing, and we really want to chat with you all.
Exactly. All right, Jazzy Jazz. Well, thank you so much.
All right.
All right, you have a blessed one. All right, go ahead and get them headlines going, girl.
All right, so coming up in our later newscast at noon, I always trip up on that. It's hard to say. Well, new details are coming out about the man accused of attacking 2 staff members in the District Office of Congress, Jerry Connolly of Virginia. Officials say the 49-year-old suspect had a court appearance yesterday but refused to show up for his arraignment. Officials say he's facing 4 charges. 2 involve malicious wounding. The other charges coming up later.
Yeah, so also we have months after being convicted of driving under the influence, Radford University's men's head basketball coach, headed back to the court, says that Darius Nichols had a positive interlock reading last month. He was convicted of DUI after blowing 3 times the legal limit during a traffic stop in February. We have the statements from the school officials coming up later.
And cautious optimism is swirling over Washington, D.C. this week. President Joe Biden says he will leave the G7 summit in Japan early to continue talks about the U.S. debt limit. This potential bridge comes after a months-long standoff where the White House wanted the debt ceiling raised without strings attached, causing a stalemate with House Republicans. The details on that and what's going on in our nation's capital coming up later. You got anything else?
I don't, but I do want to kind of give the floor to Rebecca one more time. I know y'all like, golly, she is, beating this horse, but I just want to double down again, just redefining and reminding people about what the morning sprint. We got our beautiful producer, Rebecca Williams, is here. Rebecca, if you could, how would you describe this program so that people understand that, no, you're not going to get your political news here. You're not going to get, the hard news that kind of, makes you depressed throughout the day. This is kind of that break from that. So how would you describe it from your standpoint?
Yeah, most definitely. So one of the main visions that, all three of us had when we started brainstorming this project was we want something that people aren't exhausted watching. There is a lot of negativity out in this world. And yes, part of our job is to cover that. Part of our job is to inform you on what's happening in your community, good, bad, and otherwise. But this show, we wanted to put an intentional focus on the good. We think sometimes the newscasts, on TV and at, like your 5, your 6, your big ones, they get a little, they get really heavy, and sometimes afterwards we just feel so just with the world, and that's not reality. That's not a true, complete, whole vision of what this world is. So we wanted to create the sprint to try to highlight and bring out those good stories in our communities and in communities around the country. That good is not just happening here in Roanoke. It's not just happening in Lynchburg or the New River Valley. It's happening all across this country and all across this world. And we think it's part of our responsibility as journalists to connect you guys with that.
Amen. And Brittany, I know you are heavy in the community with trying to find those good stories to bring back. So, obviously that's very important for a show like this.
Yeah, I think it's always important, like we said, to highlight those positive things. There's so many community groups, organizations, events, things happening almost every single weekend, whether it's in Roanoke, Lynchburg, the New River Valley, somewhere. So I love highlighting those things and showing you what's going on and how much work these people put into these events as well. So as important as obviously those hard news stories are, we do need to cover those. We do want to share those with the community. We also want to, give a platform for those other things as well. So if you have any story ideas you'd like to share with us, anything you'd like for us to cover, I can cover live in the morning that would be fun to showcase, or you can cover in the Deep Blue Ridge, please let us know. We are always looking for things.
Definitely. And if you know something that's crazy that's happened across the world, let us know about that. Again, what's news to one person might not be newsworthy to another, but it's not the point of this whole program. It's about having that conversation and that engagement and back and forth. So with that, I hope we get some comments, some good comments later on in the show. If you guys go back and watch this after it is posted online. But yeah, that does it for our Hump Day edition of the Morning Sprint. We'll see you guys back here again tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. at WSLS.com.